And I just responded to them saying, well, you have to lift the weight to your chest and back up again. It's like, well, obviously. Hey guys, it's Zach James with Regen, and today I'm going to go over a topic that I'm pretty passionate about. Now, if you clicked on this video, it's probably because you yourself are having a hard time losing weight, and hopefully I can give you a little bit of insight as to why that is. I've always had a passion for helping people struggling with weight loss, simply because I've gone through this experience myself, and let me tell you, it sucks. And for simplicity's sake, I have broken this video into 3 distinct sections so you can follow along pretty easily. And these sections include, number 1, myths or overemphasized reasons as to why you are not losing weight. Number 2, the actual reasons why you are probably having a hard time with weight loss. And then section 3 is kind of a what to do section. And it's a detailed 5-step process that you can start implementing today that will help you start losing weight, or more importantly, losing fat. I'm also going to give you my specific story regarding my troubles. That way you can kind of understand why I'm so ardent regarding this topic. So section 1, myths or overemphasized reasons why you are not losing weight. Now, the reason I want to say these are overemphasized instead of just straight myths is because usually these statements kind of have an element of truth to them. But what often happens is the footnotes of these ideas get elevated to the headline, and how they play a role with weight loss is usually over exaggerated. And when I've heard these topics discussed in other videos in the past, they leave the viewer feeling very much discouraged, like they can't do anything to kind of get out of this rut. In other words, they usually leave the viewer with no hope. And what I'm here to tell you is there are specific things that you can start doing today that will help you lose weight, and more importantly, will help you feel better. So what are these overemphasized reasons as to why you're having such a hard time losing weight? Number 1 is family genetics. While genetics do play somewhat of a role in your overall body leanness or body weight, the effect of this is often overemphasized, and what usually gets mixed into this, which plays a much bigger role in one's weight gain or weight loss, would be the family environment you were raised in and the certain health behaviors you learned or picked up along the way. These would be things like getting little to no exercise, having a diet that's mainly processed junk food, or even getting very poor sleep. And these behaviors usually get picked up simply because that's what you grew up in. That's genuinely not your fault, and honestly should be expected. So I'm really not trying to discourage anyone here. Personally, I grew up where the majority of the food we ate, or a lot of the snacks we had, were mostly processed junk food. So hey, I get it. The second overemphasized reason would be that you have a broken metabolism. So again, there is an element of truth to this, but to say that your or someone else's metabolism is broken is irresponsible at the least, and that language is usually used to prime people into purchasing some sort of plan or product. While you certainly can reduce your metabolism over time, usually due to things such as restrictive yo-yo dieting, it's not broken, and there are ways that you can get your metabolism back up to speed to start burning more calories. I'm going to tell you how to do that in the what to do section of this video. One channel I want to call out would be the SciShow, and they did a video on this. When watching the video, they make it seem as if getting healthier is completely out of your control, and it's kind of telling people who are struggling with their weight as if they can't do anything about it, and it leaves them in despair. And there are practical things that you can do that will help you lose weight as well as feel better. The last overemphasized reason is obesity is not a lifestyle but a disease. To say that obesity is not brought about by one's lifestyle choices is kind of irresponsible. And again, there are several deep-rooted behaviors that are usually instilled into people since their childhood. I don't want to undermine that. However, to say that obesity has nothing to do with your lifestyle is utterly ridiculous. Alright, so section 2, reasons why you are not losing weight. And I'm sure all of you have heard the term CICO, or calories in, calories out. Now don't turn off the video yet, because I totally understand the frustration when you hear this. And while yes, if you're burning more calories than you are consuming, you're obviously going to lose weight, but to kind of leave it at that is very negligent to some very important details. I feel like that's kind of the equivalent of someone asking me, hey Zach, how do I bench 225 pounds? And I just responded to them saying, well, you have to lift the weight to your chest and back up again. It's like, well, obviously. But what they're really asking me is the process of how to get stronger. So I feel like when people are usually asking how to lose weight, they're not asking for the physics behind it, but they're asking how to increase their metabolism while also feeling satiated longer. And I don't like just leaving it at calories in, calories out, because this simple mindset usually leaves people with trying to lose weight by starting very calorically restrictive diets while also doing an absurd amount of cardio. And doing this for a prolonged period will lower your metabolism over time. And it does this in 2 ways collectively. First, having a super low calorie diet signals to your body, body that food is scarce and that it needs to be more efficient with the energy sources it expends, aka it reduces the total daily amount of calories you burn while also making you feel like crap. And then second, eating low-calorie diets and doing excessive cardio reduces the amount of muscle your body will hold, which can give you that flabby appearance while also getting rid of your body's lean muscle tissue. And that lean muscle tissue is much more energy demanding, aka your body's not really going to want to hold on to that muscle if it's in a starvation mode and if you're doing an excessive amount of cardio, because it's not efficient for the body to hold on to a ton of muscle if it's getting used to running super long distances. And this is where my personal story comes in. I was always a chubbier kid back in the day, and I always had a hard time in the beginning with losing weight. And initially what I would do is I would do an excessive amount of running while cutting my calories. And for most people, this makes total sense because you're eating less calories and you're burning more through cardio. And this actually will work for a little bit. But the important thing to know is that your body adapts. So you will get to a certain point and then you will just plateau there. And if you want to lose more weight, well, you're going to have to restrict your calories and you're going to have to up the cardio. However, if you do this for too long, then your body's going to signal that, hey, I'm not getting enough calories for my daily energy needs. So your body tries to get more efficient and it burns less calories. Usually a byproduct of that is you get a ton of brain fog, you feel achy, you get terrible sleep. And that's exactly where I was. I got to a point to where I was running 5 to 6 miles a day while also eating only about 1,000 calories. And if I ever went excessively over that amount, well, I would actually see the fat gain the next day or the next week. And if you can kind of relate to this story, I want you to stick around because there is a way out of that, aka reverse dieting. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, if this video has been helpful to you so far, it would help me a lot if you could hit the like button as well as subscribe, as I am kind of a smaller channel right now. So back to Kaiko, or calories in, calories out. Kaiko is ultimately true, and it's good to be aware of all the extra junk calories you are eating throughout the day. You would be surprised how many calories you can crush just by adding extra processed snacks, sauces, and dressings, as well as many other types of processed foods. Without counting calories, we tend to drastically underestimate the amount of calories we are taking in. You may be eating healthy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but in reality, it is very likely that you could be eating more than those 3 meals combined just by periodic junk food snacking. And further, eating high amounts of ultra-processed junk food, such as chips, breads, crackers, cereals, sweets, will throw off your hormones more than you think, causing you to be more lethargic or more tired, and can spiral into an array of unhealthy habits. And then finally, another reason why you may be having a hard time losing weight is, well, your sleep sucks. Now, this is a topic that a lot of people tend to just throw under the rug, but the truth is, if you're not getting an adequate amount of sleep, that is going to increase the amount of cortisol within your system, and again, that will throw off your hormones. It's going to make you feel like crap. Poor sleep also enhances muscle breakdown as well as fat storage, and will also impede your workout effectiveness as well as your body's ability to recover. All right, now section 3. What to do, or more specifically, how you can increase your metabolism to burn more calories throughout the day. And I'm going to break this down into a 5-step process. Now, all these steps are going to be very important for everyone trying to lose weight, but the first 2 are going to be for those who are following a very restrictive caloric diet. So step 1 is going to be to implement some sort of strength training regimen to increase the amount of muscle that your body is carrying, while also reducing or completely eliminating the amount of cardio you're doing. I know that may sound crazy, like it just feels weird to cut cardio. If you want to do a little bit of walking, that's fine, but a lot of excessive jogging or running, for those of you who are following a very restrictive diet, you probably need to cut that out for the time being. And the reason is because we're trying to increase the amount of muscle your body is holding, and this muscle is more energy demanding and will help you burn more calories throughout the day. And having more muscle is also a win-win because it kind of sculpts your body to make it look more appealing as well. You don't even need access to a gym or any gym equipment. There are several body weight exercises you can do at home and build strength with over time. And the key to these is to get better at these exercises through a process called progressive overload. If you don't know what progressive overload is, I actually made a very short video regarding that topic, so you can go check that out after this video. Step 2 would be, if you're on a very low calorie diet, I need you to start increasing the amount of calories you're eating every day. And I need you to be strong with this one because I can understand the feeling you may be getting just by thinking about this. And the truth is, you may actually gain some weight during this process, but you need to understand your body will adapt, especially if you're doing some sort of weight training. And you won't gain weight forever, but we do need to start working on increasing your metabolism. Now, how many calories should you be eating? Well, that depends if you're a man or a woman, your size, stature. And if you're curious about this, I would look up any TDEE, or total daily energy expenditure calculator, on the internet. There's tons of them. They're free, and you can figure out how many calories you should be burning on a day-to-day average. So just to give kind of a quick example, if you're a female and say you're only eating 1,200 calories a day and the amount you should be eating is 1,800 calories a day, what I would do is I would increase the amount of calories you're eating every week by 200 until you get to that level. So maybe this week you bump that up to 1,400 calories. The next week you bump that up to 1,600 calories. And then the next week you bump that up to 1,800 calories. That way you're not dramatically changing the number of calories you're eating on a daily basis, and it helps your body adapt to the higher caloric intake. Now the channel MindPump, they have a ton of resources and a ton of videos talking about this specific topic. So if you are struggling with a very restrictive caloric diet, I would go over to their channel and see a lot of the content they've made. Step 3, eat enough protein. Now I understand there's a ton of controversy about how much protein you need every day. Let me be straight with you. A lot of the recommendations that are given by the government are total crap. They say you only need about 50 grams of protein a day. I would view that number as probably an absolute minimum regardless of who you are. My personal recommendation would be 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So in other words, if you weigh 150 pounds, that would mean you would need to try and get 150 grams of protein throughout the day. Now, many people love to say that this is way too much, but the truth is, protein is by far the most satiating macronutrient, which means it makes you feel full for longer and it will help you reduce your cravings. A higher protein diet is also very crucial for building as well as maintaining muscle mass, which in effect increases your metabolism. If you eat this ratio of protein, you will no doubt feel less hungry and will also set you up for long-term fat loss success. And no, eating this much protein will not hurt your kidneys. There's been countless research that has debunked this claim. Step 4, eat real quality whole food while counting your calories. Eating majority whole foods is optimal to ensure you are getting an adequate amount of vital vitamins and minerals to help stabilize your hormones and keep you functioning optimally. On the other hand, once again, if the majority of your diet is processed junk food or processed sugary foods, your insulin will spike, and then that will make you feel more hungry and less satisfied, leaving you very much energy depleted. Once again, not to mention that these foods can also disrupt your sleep as well as your hormonal health. A good rule of thumb is the 80-20 rule, and that just means that 80% of your calories should come from whole food sources and 20% can come from whatever you want. And also watch out for hidden calories in things such as dressings, sauces, and sugary drinks. Step 5, sleep is key. Sleep is how your body repairs and rejuvenates, and countless studies have shown the impact that poor sleep has on muscle loss and fat gain. We don't really need to spend too much time here. All you need to know is that getting a good, adequate amount of sleep will make the process of losing weight or losing fat much easier. And one last disclaimer before I leave you guys, and that's that life is not always ideal. All right, I get it. We're in situations that many times we cannot control. What I mean is that some of you may be in situations where you may only be able to get a certain amount of sleep every night. You may not be able to get 8 hours. So I wouldn't look at this as an all or nothing type thing, because if you're waiting for everything to be perfect and ideal, more than likely you're never going to reach that point. All I would say is just do the best with what you have and you can still see great progress. And if you need extra help with this topic, since I am a small channel, if you leave a comment below, I would love to help you out more. So I genuinely do care about seeing you guys succeed, so please don't hesitate to reach out. Alright guys, I hope this video helped, and I'll see you in the next one.